Okay, hi everyone. Sorry for the couple minutes delay. We are, of course, experiencing some technical difficulties. So we're trying to figure that out, but hopefully for this session, we'll get it worked out. But basically we keep freezing. So if that happens, we'll probably just turn off our cameras because our voice seems to be working fine and move on as normal. So thank you guys for your patience. Feel free to say hi. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. It's so great to see you guys.
Hi everyone.
Hi. And we have Matthew. It's great to see you, of course. Wow, lots of names I don't recognize yet. I love that. That's so great. Hey guys, from Malaga, Emilio, nice to see you. I'm in Barcelona. And Raul, always good to see you. Great. Awesome. We have a wonderful crew for today. I'm excited. We have some Softr community members, some folks that I have not yet met. So why don't we go ahead and dive in and get started? Yes, of course, the session will be recorded. So it will be automatically, if you've registered, which you have because you're here, you will get an automatic email from Demio that will give you a link to the recording. And then we also always post and publish these recordings on our YouTube channel. So that will also be posted tomorrow and it will be promoted there as well. Great. Okay, awesome. So excited to see you guys here. But without further ado, this is not about me. This is about handing the mic over to one of our wonderful community members today and letting him show what he's been up to and working on over the past several months. So first of all, for those of you that maybe aren't as familiar, well, first of all, hi, I'm Lizzie. I'm the community lead here at Softr. So I basically am the ambassador and liaison for our wonderful community of builders and no-coders that are working with Softr. So for those of you that maybe aren't as familiar with Softr, I always like to introduce the tool very briefly. So essentially what we do is we allow you to build custom apps and internal tools using Airtable and Google Sheets as your data source. And we say block by block and without code. So kind of our bread and butter is basically making the app building process super easy and intuitive and reducing the barrier to entry for engineering genius and power. So we're going to show you a pure example of what that looks like today as Julien goes through and shows us what he's been working on. So without further ado, I'm excited to introduce our wonderful hot seats guest today. This is our brave soul that raised his hand when I was asking for anyone that would be interested in joining us on a hot seat event. So Julien is a product manager and no-code maker in France. He shares his passion for product management, UX design, and web platform development with his clients and students in higher education. He uses Airtable and Softr, of course, on a daily basis, helping entrepreneurs, companies, and non-technical founders build web apps and craft unique experiences. So what a great intro. I'm super excited for you guys to see this app, and he's put together a really wonderful presentation for us today. So basically, he's going to walk us through the app. He's going to set the tone, going a little bit more macro level, highlighting what's the case study, who's the client, what's the problem they're solving, and then diving into the actual Softr app and the logic, so the database itself, because it's always important to start with a solid data structure before you dive into building in Softr. And then he's going to highlight a few cool key features and areas that he's implemented in this app, and also touch a little bit about how this app is kind of version 1, but how they have plans to scale it and grow it over time, which I think is a really great mindset to have when it comes to building tools for your business, building tools for whatever your needs are. Start with what you know you need now, and then know you can always scale and grow into other different features or needs over the long term. So please feel free to leave questions in the chat. We will answer them either while he is presenting or, of course, at the end. So enough about me. Also, please do let us know in the chat if you're having trouble hearing us or seeing us, because we are experiencing some connectivity issues today. Unfortunately, I'm really sorry about that, but right now I think we're okay, so we'll proceed. But don't be afraid to just holler at us in the chat and let us know, and we'll pause and try to figure it out. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now and I'm going to hand the mic over. So without further ado, go ahead and you can take over the screen here and we'll get started.
Yes, fine. Thank you very much, Lizzie. I will do this right now. So tell me if it works. Normally you should see my screen.
Fingers crossed. Yep. Yep.
Is
Perfect.
it working?
Yep. Looks great.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, hello everyone. I'm glad to be here. I'm really happy to be here with you, Lizzie, and the community because I got some things to share with the community and see how some people I know react because we are here to provide some insights about our vision of how to use basically local tools and especially Softr and Airtable, but also really happy to have some feedback from the community. So yeah, feel free to share everything you have in mind or question. I will be really happy to address them with Lizzie and also note that in the backlog and the vision of the project. Maybe you'll have some good ideas to implement also. So yeah. So I will just walk you through what is the use case basically and why I'm here presenting this because as you will see, it's more like a meta project regarding the big picture of the company, but it's a really key project at the moment for the company, and we plan for the long run with this one. So yeah, without further ado, I will move to the next slide. So basically, enough about me. Lizzie, thank you for the presentation. It's really accurate, basically. But it's more about one of my clients, which is called Merci-Rene. In English, we'll say like thank you, Rene, basically. And it's a cooperative working in south of France in Toulouse and founded 3 years ago. Basically, the company offers services like design of indoor and outdoor living and working spaces. So basically working exclusively for B2B organization like big companies, but also small and medium-sized businesses. And they especially use like reuse, recycled, and new furniture. So they are really specialized in it, and they have a good singularity to showcase, and they are in a big development, let's say. Where now we are 11 in the company because I'm internalized. I work part of my time here, handling the product team and creating and building the product team. And we are going to expand the company in the coming years to like now 10 people, 11 to 30 in 2 years, and later on maybe 50. So we have a lot of processes to create a model. We want to a template basically ER tools we want to replicate elsewhere as well in France. So basically maybe in the big cities in France. So that's why it's really key for now to create the good dynamic and also push the good tools to the right people so we can scale in the better condition, let's say. So just to give you some insights, this is actually the website we have right now. We are in the process of revamping it, modernizing it. But for now, I have nothing really interesting to share with you because it's still in the process. But just to give you like what we are and mostly like, the graphic design of the website, the identity of Merci-Rene, because it would be maybe easier to understand later why our internal tool have those kind of colors and structural aspect, let's say. So you will ask, why do we need to create a nature portal for this kind of company? There is a lot of tools off the shelf we could use, a lot of solutions we could, the HR manager could implement within the company. And this is actually a really good question. We started by this because my job here is not just to basically develop and push like no-code tools, but it's mostly to implement all the things we need to scale in the good condition, as I said. So basically, we need to create a product team in a company which is not technical at all. We are not a tech company at all. We are basically like mostly a brick and mortar company, as we provide goods and furniture for brick and mortar businesses most of the time. And we need to have like a good vision of what is to create products and basically digital products. So we need to hire people, to train people, and mostly give them the good practices and also the way to work with new things, new ways of working here. So we need to have like good quality, also a culture of metrics, analytics, etc. So basically you have it, the global strategy. My job here is basically to follow with 3 steps, with 3 clear objectives. Basically, the first one will be to like break all the walls and basically integrate clients and partners at the heart of all the projects and the management process, which is actually really key for the business. The second one is basically to support the growth of the company and better serve the local branch. As I said, we are going to scale the company in the coming years. So that's why we need strong products, strong processes, and people who are ready to handle them. And the last one, for me, I need to be a help on the long run, but also on a daily basis. So I need to provide with me for now, but also the product team we are going to create. And I'll work already with some really talented people here, putting products and services in the right hands at the right time, in the right moment, in the business unit, basically. But this is not really interesting for you, I guess, but I'm going just to give deep dive a little bit. Basically, I implemented a short roadmap for this kind of project. This is really high level, but just to give you some things we are working on and some things we are planning to do in the coming months. So basically here, we just opened the beta internally, and for sure, most of this project will be exclusively internally, but we are working also to develop this and implement also features for, let's say, applicants and job postings and things like that. So as you can see, for the first release, we are focused on basically creating the global database for the product, the employee directory, but also some key features I will present to you later on, like the leave management process, the employee safe, and also the weekly forecasts, which is really key and already running within the company. So I don't know if you want me to stop here or can I go ahead with the presentation, but if anyone has any question about this high-level roadmap, I will be really happy to discuss it.
Yeah, no, this is great. I love seeing it so clearly laid out, and it's really just shows how creative you can get with no-code tools, and that all of this is going to be happening within your Softr app. It's just really exciting to see. So I love being able to show people the capabilities. So thank you for laying that out. No questions yet. I think go ahead and continue on.
That's fine. Okay, perfect. So yeah, as I said, basically here for the first release, here are the main features, and we work on things that are really simple for a lot of organization, but really key to implement is basically to share on a really specific way and a secure way the salary slip, the contracts, the insurance paper, etc. to each collaborators, but also to better manage the leave request for the HR manager and help people to implement on their own their request. And last but not least, we just implemented for following the last OKR we got here, the basically objective key results for people who are not aware of what it is. We have in mind to implement some better management of what we are doing on a weekly basis and better share on the morning, basically, what we are doing within the company and what are the problems we could have, or maybe the things we are stuck with, to create an emulation and a sense of awareness within the company. So here's the first look. So yeah, I will show you the just later on, just to give you an idea about what is the tech behind all of this. For sure, we worked with Airtable and Softr. We haven't tried Google Sheet, by the way, for a really simple reason. A lot of people here are already using Airtable on a daily basis for a long time. And basically my job and some people here is to train them also on the tool. And we plan to train a lot of people, basically most of the people here, to Softr as well in the future, depending on the kind of project they are going to work. And what is really important here, the company implemented already Airtable, but also Notion. But the big issue we have right now, and I'm here to solve them, is they don't know when to use Airtable and when to use Notion regarding project management, for instance, or a lot of other things. So basically, this project is basically, and I'm sorry for the Notion fan base, but to kill Notion regarding HR portal and regarding talent management and recruiting. We want to centralize everything within an app, and the app will not be Airtable and software, but mostly the app I will show you right now. So here it is. So we can start maybe by the Airtable base, but maybe for everyone, I think it's really interesting to see maybe what it looks like on software. So here you can see, if you for now it's a temporary URL, but you are going to move the website to a stronger one, one of our own, but it's still a beta. So for now, it wasn't really relevant. So here you have like a landing page, because for us, it was really important to set the tone to what will be Merci-Rene in the coming month. So something really light, really well structured, let's say, with light colors, and move from the old website we got, so something more modern and visually appealing, let's say, even if a lot of those things will change maybe in the future, because it's like, as I said, a beta and things will change. So, but here it's just a landing page. I don't think you are really interested in this. I'm just going to show you how it works once you're connected. So for now, you need to be from Merci-Rene to connect. So you can create an account if you want, but you have to have an email from Merci-Rene. So it's our way to onboard people easily, but to be sure we don't have anyone outside the company logging in. So here's your dashboard. It's a work in progress, but I'm just going to showcase what it is. So the first thing you're going to show on the dashboard is basically the safe. I'm sorry for non-French people. It's basically, this is a safe. So here also coffre, it means safe in French. And as you can see, we have 3 sections. The first one will be like for all salary slip. So we will have all the salary slip here. You have also the other documents regarding the collaborators, or basically the contract, the other things related to GDPR, for instance. And last but not least, all the documents and paper who are more like high level, and everyone can access them basically. But it's more about the company policy for things like I don't know, even the how to access the company for external people, things like that. It's like really broad level, and this kind of document will be also linked to the onboarding templates we are going to create in the coming months, because we also plan to move this platform to a next level and basically create onboardings for new employee, and also for actual employee to train them and help them grow within the company. So here, and if I click, I don't know, on the document, as you can see, you will have like a drawer, and you can see the document, for instance, and you can download it, by the way. So this is the first key feature. Basically, it's a quite straightforward feature, but it's really interesting because for now, the HR manager just have to put the document using her own interface, and people will receive a Slack notification or an email, so they can check back to the portal where they are, and people can also, if they want, look for all the documents using like the search bar, and even filtering what it is. So basically, if I want to see all my salary slips, they are here. So it's quite straightforward. A little design still remaining here, but basically you have it.
I have a
Those are things.
quick.
Yeah, sorry, Lizzie, go ahead.
Real quick. So Raul is asking, so before we dive a little bit deeper, right? So we went into user authentication, which shows, okay, only users from this company can sign up and make an account and access the app. Raul is curious if you can elaborate a little bit more on roles. So what roles are able to access Softr side, and then which roles have access to the actual Airtable base. Are you the only one that's viewing the Airtable base right now as the owner of this project? Or maybe elaborate a little bit on that, because that's definitely a key feature of Softr, I would say, is the ability for you to be able to create those those really granular roles and permissions.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, basically, if you go on this URL for now, you will just have access to basically what is public. A lot of things are not ready to be pushed public, so you will have maybe some broken links for now, because we are just working on the private side of it for now. But basically, we have like for now 3 type of users: non-login users, like for people like applicants, or people who want to consult our job offers, because we are going to push them in the coming weeks. So this is like a classical website where you can see things without being the need of an account, basically. We want also to use this kind of let's say classical feature to showcase who we are as a company, what is really important for us, and what we are looking for in terms of talents, etc., etc. So this is for the non-logging users. For roles, basically, and attribution, I can show you use one now. So this is the database. It's a bit of a mess if you see it like that way, but it's basically really simple. I can show you some information basically regarding the users. Basically, you can see here you have some labels, and basically some labels, they are like employee, which like employee in French, employee, or responsable is basically HR manager or administrator. So basically what it means, some blocks here are displayed to logged in users, and as you can see, some are for employee, but some others are for, let's say, the manager. So if I go on something really specific, like the leaves, for instance, we will show you in a moment. If you go on this page, as you can see, this page is already for logged in user only. So normally you cannot access them without an account, but plus you will have for some blocks respective access. So yeah, so it's a bit laggy, but it should be okay in a few seconds. Yeah. So here, this block, for instance, it's for users. That's why I have it. So basically, it's employee. And as you can see, you have like login users as a group, but also with a custom groups called employee. And if you go on this one, with like, as you can see, the UI is a bit different. You can see here that I called it admin, and then you can see here it's still logged in users, but also if it's not the same custom user groups, it's like HR manager, for instance. For now, we are not using the admin role for now because we are not sure if we need this kind of high-level access. So for now, we have only 2 kind of users, basically the employees and the HR manager to administrate everything. So I hope it's clear now.
Yeah, no, that's super clear. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, and talking about leave management, maybe I can showcase what we got now. As you will see, it's also quite straightforward. Here we have like a main section called mes démarches, so basically all the things we can do. Here we have a straightforward interface because we haven't worked with kind of designs for now, but it's as the user said, that's quite straightforward, so can use it as I understand it. So it's half the done, sorry. And yeah, so you have it. Basically, here you have all the leave you ask. So it's still in a test, so you can see there's different kinds of things you can implement as leaves. And here you have like 2 kind of view. The first one is a grid, basically, and you can filter them by, let's say, if it's accepted, or if it's remaining, or maybe you have a refusal. So for now, I have no refusal and also no accepted. And I will show you just later on how we can manage it. So yeah, everything is in Aten for now. And if I click on any of those cards, I can see from where to where, like the duration of the leave, maybe some precision we have implemented on it, but also and foremost, I can edit this kind of demand, and I can also, if I want, delete this kind of demand. So it's quite straightforward, and it's really interesting to do so. But the main feature, I guess, it's like the creation. So basically here, I can, I don't know, ask for something like, I don't know, a parental leave, for instance. I will set like arbitrary dates. Let's say it's really short one, parental leave. I can add some details for the HM manager to have more context, even an attachment if I want. And basically here I'm pushing the request for now, and this is here. For now, it's sorted arbitrary from the most let's say next to our date here, and it's, yeah. So basically we choose that way, but we are not sure how we are going to handle this later on. So now I'm going to show you how it works if I change my role to responsible. So basically HR manager, just for the sake of the demonstration. I refresh it, and as you will see, the UI will change. I have new menus. I have a page with all the requests for all the employee. And as you can see here, I have the last one I asked for. I don't know where it is. It's here. It's this one, parental. I can see from who it was, the duration, and if I want to approve it. So basically, I tried, and it's really, really nice, the one-click update button. And so if I click here, basically, the request will be approved right away. And also here, I can reject it if I want. So if I go here on Softr, as you can see here on Slack, in the Slack of the company, as you can see, we just received the request I've done within the company. So basically, the HR manager can monitor this channel and see if there is new request for the leaves. And I also received, from my point of view, in my mailbox, an email saying, okay, we confirm you basically that you made your request, and the HR manager will come back to you soon and see if it works. So putting my position in an HR manager now, I will approve this. And basically you will see that you have a confirmation. The card has also changed color, and basically here my request was approved. And for now, if I go on my, I'll try to move quickly here, sorry, up here, it's not working now. Okay, I will show you later on. But normally I should receive an email saying that everything is okay, and it's approved, by the way. So if I go back here and I change my role, go back to employee, and I refresh, I will be back to my user interface with less option, as you can see, and I will find here, yes, that it was accepted. So yeah, it's quite straightforward. And I can also find it here. Basically, it's the calendar view, and I can see that it was accepted, by the way, and can still see results. So yeah, it's a lot of little things to showcase, but basically what is really important is, because it was accepted, I cannot modify or delete it. As you can see, you don't have the option. I can just see if it was accepted, and we plan to implement like comments or from the HR manager to give maybe some context or formulate maybe a few insights. And for this kind of request, which is with they are still remaining, basically, I can still delete it, by the way, or even update and even change, I don't know, the hour, add some context, etc., etc. So that's really interesting to have this kind of granular permission and to create the better user experience possible. So this is the second feature I wanted to showcase.
Yeah, this is really great and such a powerful use case. We use something similar internally at Softr for our vacation calendar. We do have a couple of questions. So one question is about the date format. So
Yeah.
it seems you get dates in European format, standard and softer. I believe it's, yeah, how are you implementing that? Because on the Airtable side, I know you can only use US format, I think. Am I correct in saying that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
What's your worker?
I Yeah, I will show you the table because I think a lot of people are interested in this. So basically, you have a view with just my requests, and yeah, it's kind of a mess to manage dates in web design, and I think a lot of developers already know that. So no code is not really an exception regarding date management, and yeah, different countries also have specificities. So yeah, it's kind of a mess. But what I've done basically, I implemented like a date field,
Oh,
and I think yeah, I've choose date format as European, but also I set up the time format. So yeah, basically I've done this. You can also, if you want, implement the correct time zone. Basically, I'm not sure if I have to, but I will check because for now the time for the leaves, this is not really key for now. We just want the date, but for sure we will implement something different later on.
okay.
Sorry.
That was
So basically what we've done, it's a formula to convert the dates for the front. So it's a bit specific, but basically to be sure, we provide like some text which work on the back end to provide, for example, from, to, and that's why you see a lot of fields just to help the user with a better UI, basically.
that's a good workaround. Thanks for sharing. Okay, great. That's super helpful. Another question. So Ahmed is asking, how can we have multi-level approval? I'm guessing you are referring to the action buttons that exist in the individual records. Am I understanding that correctly? Does that question make sense to you, Julien?
Yeah. I think I think the question is about if you have like a manager will do like the pre-approval, let's say,
Right.
maybe another one will double check later on.
Yeah, I think that's probably more it. Yeah, he says yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I think there is some various way you can achieve that. For me, instantly, I will maybe like add some difference, the status, and maybe like another one, and push notification to the correct person to tell them they have an action to do, and basically adapt the UI with the cards and the right to edit them regarding the roles. So basically, you need to start by identifying what are the key stakeholders in the project and what is the process basically clear in your head, and later on implement status and lock the edition of the card or the approval regarding each roles. I'm not sure if you understand correctly what I mean, but it's basically, yeah, you have to uh, render the process operational step by step, starting from the employee, going to the first manager, and maybe the later on the last manager. And basically, they will push by editing the status, the action. But for now, with action button, you just need to say regarding this button accessible for this kind of user. If you click on it, it will change the status basically. So I don't think it's really hard to achieve, by the way.
Yeah, he said that makes sense. Thanks. Awesome.
Yeah. So it's really clear in my head, but sometimes those kind of things are really hard to explain. But yeah, basically, just to be sure we understand, basically here, if I go to this kind of block who are from the admin, basically, yeah, admin is basically to say manager for now. But yeah, we can like approve this kind of button. This is a one-click update button, and basically I'll store the correct label behind this button. So basically accepted is accepted. And for here, it's basically this. And also here, it's a bit specific, but now because we can have like labels, not just using single or multiple, I don't have the name in French, basically the single select or multiple select, we can also see within other tables. Basically, So that's why we created different tables for the options, basically. So here for congé, we create this kind of options because we wanted to implement other features later on regarding this kind of choice, and we can better monitor this kind of requests from the users. So I think this will make more sense when I showcase the last feature, because for now it's a bit tricky. But basically, if you want to display something more after the single select option, you need maybe another listing, basically another table in the database. That's why we choose to do this that way. So yeah, I know it's maybe a bit of a mess to explain. So basically, yeah, for leaves, we work that way.
Cool.
Okay.
That is helpful. And then the last one in regards to what you just presented on, we're just assuming that the Slack message was an automation in Airtable. I don't know any other way you would do it, but I'm guessing that's the easiest way to set it up. Yeah, you can easily create an Airtable automation that says,
absolutely.
When this record is condition, send a Slack message.
Yeah. So basically, we have like two automations. The first one is when basically you make a request. It will send an email to the employee to send him a confirmation to say, yeah, okay, so be sure the request was well received by the HR manager, and also sending an email to the manager to say, oh, you have an action to do, you have something to check for a request, and basically also pushing the notification within a specific channel monitored by the HR manager here. And the second one here, it's like if you update a status, so basically this is an attribution only the manager can do. Basically, it's what I showcased to you just before, like basically clicking on the button to approve. So basically this one. And you have like two conditions. If the status is accepted, you will send an email to user to say, hey, your request was granted. So yeah, congratulations, basically. And the other one is like a refusal, and basically the user will receive you need basically to discuss with the HR manager why it didn't work and why it's not possible for this type of request. The objective is basically to be sure the HR manager as the employee will discuss it and find a solution later on. And for now, this is the last thing we want to do with this is pushing more features. We want just this feature to be like straightforward. If it's a refusal, people have to meet and discuss together around the table and not digitally. So that's why we stop the process here.
Love it.
So yeah, I hope it's clear. And the last one, it's like for the weather forecast. If you do not have any other question, basically I can move forward.
Let's move to the third one, and then I'm seeing some of your questions come in, and we'll come to those at the end. There's a couple questions about going back to the documents section and showing a little bit of that. And then touching a little bit again on why choosing Softr versus a vertical tool. I think somebody joined a little bit later, so I said we could touch on this stuff at the end. So let's go to the third feature that you want to showcase, and then we'll come back to some of these questions.
Yeah, that's fine. So we started to work on something called missions, and basically it's all about the employee work. So basically we will have later on, we already started working on it, but basically the OKR for the employee, but also all the seminar we're going to create, and even an ID box where people can push IDs and people can upvote for them. So and we also have a process so the manager can push some IDs and help them implement. But for what I want to showcase for now is basically the weather forecast for the employee. So if I go here, for now, we just have one prevision. So we started to set up also dashboards. Well, for now, it's not really interesting because we have just one. But at time, employee will have the capabilities to see the evolution of their mood. And we want to push this to the next level for the whole company, to have a better idea of how people are engaged in the company and if everything is running smoothly and everyone is basically happy to work in the company. So yeah, here it's basically something really straightforward, basically like a daily weather forecast, but it's more about at the end of the week, you will receive using Airtable automation an email a notification in a specific channel in Slack. So basically, this is called, I think, Échange Hebdo. It's basically for the in preparation of the Monday morning meeting for all the team. People will receive a notification. I don't know if it's already working. So a lot of people pushed a lot of things, but basically, you will have a notification from the portal. Let's say, hello everyone. For before going to to weekend, you will have to push your weather forecast. So basically, they will receive on a weekly basis this kind of message just before noon. And the other one is when the record is created. Basically, when everyone push their weekly forecast, we push it back to Slack. So that's why here you have all of them. And on Monday morning, we will review them and see if there is everything we can deal with now or implement solutions, and also congratulate people on projects and basically create a culture of help and awareness about the difficulties some people could have within the company.
What
And
are some of the questions? Can you translate a little bit of that? And just to make sure I understand, doing it in Slack is a good way for transparency and also just reminding everyone to do it. But it's nice to still have everything tracked in Airtable, so you still have ongoing records of what everyone has reported every single week as their weather report. And I also love that you call it the weather report. It's such a great idea.
It's something already used in some startups. I use it previously in my other let's say working life, and it was really interesting because people can be aware of what they've done, think about what they achieved and what they want to do in the next week, and yes, it helps a lot of people to better understand what are the key issues some people can have and how we can maybe fix few things. And also using this and not just Slack basically for doing it, we can store them and also maybe do some data analysis on the macro level later on to have a better idea of how it's going within the company. So that's why we've done that. And if you want basically to add a new forecast, basically we just check how was your mood at the month. So basically it's say like sunny, cloudy, rainy, or like thunders, so it wasn't really a good week this week. So it was sunny. You went say, okay, what you've done this week, what was so I will just put some test data. What is your key, let's say the best thing you've done basically this week, but also some problems you could have, some alerts because maybe you are stuck in the project, so we'll put it here, or maybe it's something like it's a bit stuck in your mind and you don't know how to do it. But also you will project yourself in the next week and say basically what you are going to achieve on the next week, what you want, and the things you really are happy to start. And if you have any question, you will put it here. And it's really interesting because on the morning, just fresh after the weekend, people will be like less stressed normally and will be really happy to deep dive into those points and maybe think again and maybe adjust a few things, or let's say, this is really important because I cannot maybe do this project or achieve this task if you don't help me, or I don't know where I want to go, I need some help, etc., etc. So it's a really good way to do this basically. And so I will just push it for the sake of the demonstration for this week. So normally, sorry, I forgot this. Work. So for now, we work on the previous version of the formula. So basically, we have like a confirmation. I use some things I think people in the community already help to provide, like basically the confetti to say, congratulations, it works. But for now, I don't have any confirmation, so I need to refresh the page. So we're working on implementing new features we already pushed within Softr, so the user can see instantly is in the UI feedback and basically that the data has been implemented. So we need to create new forms basically, but it's a matter of 5 minutes. We will do it. And basically, if I want, I can read again what I've done. So basically, as you can see, I've pushed basically nothing. I already have like dummy data if I haven't put any problems or questions. So to be sure, if it's not a bug, it's just to say, yeah, okay, you say you have no problem, so that's why you put it here. And basically here you have like a more straightforward forecast, basically the last one I've done before. And here, basically, you have like some icons, and that's why I talk about sometimes you don't need single select or multiple select. Basically, it's not helpful because when it's sunny, basically, I also want to have the sun, and so that's why we created some specific listings just to be sure when you select the weather, you will also have basically the icon here. And as you can see for now, it's mostly cloudy and sunny, which is okay, and not rainy or thunder. And also why we choose 4 and not 5 criteria, because we don't want people to like uh, choose and select always in the middle option, because it basically says nothing if you say 3 out of 5. But if you say 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 out of 4, it's normally it should say that you are basically really happy or really disappointed, basically. So that's why we choose that way.
Love it. That's so genius. And it just looks so well designed. It looks very high quality. You've done such a good job with the UX and the UI of it as well.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, but yeah, for sure, it was really important to us to like to give some perspective of what the capabilities of software, because for us, like this is more like, even if it's really useful, yeah, I'm going to use it on a weekly, even a daily basis for the internal for the company, and for maybe the 20, 30 people will be like employee at Merci-Rene. We also want to showcase to everyone internally, if you are capable to do this internally, let's just imagine what we can do with Softr and Airtable and no code in the coming months for the big projects we want to develop internally as a non-tech company.
I love it.
So yeah.
I was wondering also, Zach just said I didn't think side-by-side charts were available yet in Softr. Is this custom coding, having these two next to each other? Because they will be
Yeah,
natively, but I'm guessing this is some custom code.
For now we're using the professional plan with the custom code capabilities.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not dreaming. It's like custom code for now. But yeah, I'm really really expecting
Yes.
the custom the 2 sides blocks or maybe 3 sides blocks. I don't know, but yeah, really wants to try to play with them. So for now, we're using custom code, which is not perfect, but it was really important to us to showcase the most what we can do at the moment.
That's great. Yeah, that is definitely a high priority on the team side right now in engineering. It should be rolling out soon, I would say this quarter. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes. Thank you for walking us through 3 of these core features of your app. Obviously, there's a lot more that can be unpacked here. We do have some questions though, so I think you might want to share your screen again, actually, because a couple of asking to walk through. So George asked specifically about the document section. So if we can go back to that, I think that was the first thing that you walked us through. Can you show us a bit about, like, go a little bit deeper on the software permission setup to show how you showcase only documents pertaining to this specific user, or how you have the document set up being visible to each person?
Yeah, okay, yeah, no worries. So yeah, basically here at this main section, we have like basically 3 type of blocks. The first one is for salary wage. So this is really personal for the user. This one also, it's like contracts and etc. for your user. So for specific users, so we need to identify the user and showcase. And this is like globally. So basically how it works, as we discussed before, when you go to the employee list, I think it's here. As you can see, you have like specific roles, basically employee or manager or even admin. And here in Softr, as you know, I guess you already know it, but you can set up user groups. So basically we create like several user groups. So basically employee is basically quite straightforward. It's where the role in Airtable is employee. So going back here, it's this. And once you've done that, and you create also the integration between Airtable and Softr using this kind of feature of Softr, we can go back here. Sorry, it's a bit laggy. And I will show you on the block how it works. So basically it was on the, I think it was the save page. So yeah, I will try here because as you can see, 70 pages is a lot of pages.
Yeah, while we're waiting for it to load, somebody had a question about that earlier. Cedric was saying, or no, sorry, not Cedric. Somebody was asking about the speed. With 71 pages and so many Airtable tabs, how is your speed for a user? It's obviously laggy while you're streaming, but is it normally smooth with a complex app like this?
Yeah, and here I am at my client's office, and sometimes the Wi-Fi is a bit buggy, let's say. And also my computer here when I'm moving to the clients is not the best one. I work within my office with a better one, so yeah, for sure it's not always software fault for sure. And yes, sometimes when you have a lot of custom code, also it's like interesting for the end users, but even sometimes in Software Studio it's a bit laggy. So yeah, and with the video it's also really laggy. So yeah, it's coming, but to be sure, here as you can see, it's working like smoothly. So for the end user, it's not really an issue. For me today, it's a bit tricky, but yeah, sorry, it's not always the case, and for sure not. So yeah, here we are. Okay. So basically here, as you can see, you have basically all the documents regarding the salary slips. So here we are going to check from the base, the table, and also a view, as we set up already some specific views because we wanted to have specific sections, because this one people will check on weekly basis or mostly on a monthly basis. And here people will check maybe sometimes, and we create another view without basically the salary slips. So here, if I come back, on the visibility aspects, as you can see, it's for logged in users, employee, but also on the source. As you can see here, we use conditional features, and we want basically that the record ID from the member, that basically it's like the metadata data, the current key, the ID of the line within the database, and this specific table is from the same member as the member is connected. So what I mean by that is basically if you go on the table, you will see some information, and basically here you will see like something like called record ID. Oh, I don't think it's this one. So basically, if you create it with a formula, I will just show you right now because I don't know if anyone is aware about this, but for sure a lot of aspects are. It's basically if you type record ID here, basically you will display the the ID of this specific record in that table. And basically, for all of those people working in the company, they will have their own ID. So you are sure now you will identify them. I prefer using a record ID that maybe I don't know the name of the employee, because the record ID is always unique. So basically here, what I just need to do is go back to here to Softr and basically create a condition to say, okay, looking through all the fields within the table, I will try to find record ID, it's here, and I will say, I want this type of documents to be only from the user connected. And when it's connected, I can also retrieve the record ID from the same user. So basically I'm doing matchings between those two databases to be sure I'm always displaying the correct or the perfect document to the perfect person.
Yeah, great. Yeah, record ID is typically the most granular you can get. Said using name is sometimes iffy because you might have multiple people with the same name. You can also, if record ID feels a little too advanced right now, you can test it with just logged in user's email address. So basically that just tells Softr, hey Softr, only show this logged in user's like relevant documents that are associated with their email address. So you could try that if record ID feels a little bit like too advanced right now, but record ID is the way to, especially if you have a lot of data, a lot of users, it's the way to
Yeah.
be the most specific.
Yeah, totally. And also because for in our use case, if some people will join the company using like a temporary email address, maybe their personal one, and later on they will have the professional one. So in the meantime, we want them to have access to the same interface, and we don't want to have anything to change in the database and also a software. So using the record ID, we are the guarantee that even if you change the email address, we don't change the interface.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that's great. Okay, we only have a few more minutes left. We might go over a few minutes if you have time. I'm not sure. If not, maybe we can collect some of the remaining questions and answer them async. But
it's okay.
yeah, so Andres is saying, hi, I see the employee can see their payslip from the portal, right? So when this employee logs in and they are taken to this page, they can see all their relevant documents, including their payslip. So he wants to know, how is it loaded by the company? So how is this payslip? Because obviously all of payroll isn't happening within Softr. How are you linking the payslip to Softr or Airtable, I guess would be the main question.
Yeah. So basically, I will change my role to manager now. I think it works. So yeah, I will change again. And basically, if I refresh, normally you have a form. Basically, for now, it's like one-to-ones. Basically, you will have to add basically for, okay, maybe have something not working here. So basically, if I want to add a document, for instance, you will have a form and you can push the document here, select the type of document, what it is. So basically like a payslip. Who is the collaborator? It's basically like a dynamic list stored in Airtable. So basically it would say, okay, it's for me. I will push for what it was, maybe because if it was for this month, for instance, so maybe you want to add some specific date. And doing this will push the document to the correct user and basically push all those documents here in the safe for the correct user, basically here.
Okay, so to confirm, you are doing it manually. So like the payroll, the slip is happening somewhere else. You as that person's manager are going in each month and you're downloading it and uploading it to Softr. Is that correct?
Yeah, for now, for now. And we are thinking about maybe automating later on. But for now, it wasn't really our focus because we want to create the workflows. And also, for me, it's really important this project not to be, let's say, full complete or full efficient, because that's the point, basically.
Yeah.
We want people to learn how it is to handle a product and handle user requests, etc., and even this kind of things. I think it's because I changed my role, basically. But yes, that's why for me it's not really important, and for now it works. And we're starting from like really far from in the let's say in the tech industry. So for us, a lot of things are already new within the company. So that's why automating everything, this is not really a good idea at the moment.
Might be too much all at once.
Yeah. And maybe overkill also.
Yeah, overkill. Yeah. Okay, super helpful. So Zach has a pretty simple question. When it comes to new employees signing up, are you inviting employees to sign up, or are you bulk adding them using a magic link? What is the process? Well, right now, obviously, you maybe did bulk, I'm guessing, because you already have a group of employees. But let's say, how did you do that? And then in the future, when there's new employees that are signing up with the company, what's the process there? What's the workflow?
So it's basically it's a really good question, actually, because a lot of things still have to be discussed, and my job is also to adapt to the maturity of the internal team and the HR manager, which is working basically on her own. So basically, she has a lot of things to do, so I don't have to put a lot of things on her Slack, basically. So it has to be really simple, straightforward. So for now, I basically help her working sometimes in the database, but mostly on software. And things are like, okay, you're new to the company, we will send you an invitation, or maybe we create your email, and later on you will have like access basically to the account creation form. So here, And as I said before, you cannot create an account if you're not from the company, because we monitor the domain name when you subscribe. So for sure, no one from the external will have the capability to subscribe. But this is like quite straightforward because we don't want to lose time for now. But later on, what we want to do is basically people to apply to our offers who are here. And this is still a work in progress because it's not a priority for now. And when they will apply, we will find them here in the applicants. And once they are like selected, we just have to change the status, and people will be like associated to another table, and basically they will move from candidates to members. And that way we will onboard with just a click people from applicants to talents, basically. So that's the one thing we want to do, and we want also to push the onboarding really early in the work life of people coming in inside Merci-Rene. So I'm not sure it's clear, but yeah, basically we want to have the email and the personal data of the next talent within the applicant table. So basically they will have to apply to a job offer on our website.
Makes sense. Cool. Okay, one last question, and then we'll let you go. I know we're a couple minutes over, but we had one question about WhatsApp. I'm gonna guess the answer here based off of everything that you've told us in terms of your mindset around starting really small, trying to meet the team and their level of comfort with technology with where they are. The question is, do you have any intention to link with the outside world with WhatsApp Business or any other tool, or everything with kind of Slack and email right now? I'm going to guess you're going to stick with Slack and email for at least maybe this first 3 months, because of kind of your philosophy that you've presented to us of how you're approaching this project. Am I right? Am I wrong? Are you?
No, you're totally right. Yeah. For now, we do not want this kind of complexity for a simple reason. This is just one of the projects we want to push this year. We want to drive a culture of user-centric, user-oriented, internally and externally. We also want to create a culture of analytics, which is not really the key not really happening at the moment. It's way better than it was 6 months ago, but we still have a lot of things to implement inside. And it's just not about hiring good people, but also training them and giving more awareness of what are the capabilities of this kind of tools, because a lot of people are not aware about like Softr or Airtable, or even sometimes some things like as easier to understand as Google Analytics, because some people don't know that basically we can track everything on the internet. So yeah, for now, we don't want to push a lot of things regarding the stack, and we want to just set people like free to try things, to break things also. It was really important for us that people break things and call me or write me on Slack, oh, it's not working, what I do, I break some things, I don't know what I've done, etc. This is really important for us because in 6 months and 1 year, we will have like running products with clients and also partners, and we have to be ready to handle this kind of situation. So that's why we're doing this right now with like some simple tools to be ready for the next year to really scale the company.
Yeah, I love that approach. Raul is also saying, I agree with what you're saying. It's important to really meet your end user where they are, or else you risk them not adopting the product and getting frustrated and just not wanting to approach the new tool. And that's one thing I love about no code specifically, is that you can produce that type of experience versus maybe a vertical solution where it's all or nothing. You get all the features or you don't. And sure, some of them allow you to toggle things on and off, but that's what's great, is you can have portions of this app live and functioning while still working on the back end with the new capabilities and functionality. And you can granularly decide how much of this app you want to, how much flexibility and functionality you want to have, based off of the end user, the people that you're building this for. So I think that's such a smart approach. I love that. I have other people saying they agree if I have the choice. Yeah, I love it. So this was really super, super interesting. I would say the HR portal is becoming one of our more interesting use cases. We're seeing more and more people asking about it. This was an excellent overview of just even scratching the surface of some of the things you can do for an HR portal, for an internal tool for your organization. Not to mention it's so well designed. It looks really good. So thank you so much for sharing it with us. This was an awesome hot seat. Yeah, do you guys have anything else? I'm sorry we've gone over a little bit of time. That means the content was engaging and there were lots of great questions. But if you guys have any other questions, let us know. If not, Julien, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, we'll look forward to seeing the app in the wild. I mean, I guess we won't be able to see the back end of it, but when you guys do launch, we'll be cheering you on.
Yeah, thank you very much for attending the session. Thank you, Lizzie, for everything. And yeah, happy to discuss more about some specific issue we got, or maybe some ideas you have. For sure, it will really help us to tackle this no-code challenge. So yeah, thank you very much, Lizzie.
Yeah, thanks so much. Okay, we'll see you guys at the next one. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.